Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Darston, and welcome to another edition of In the Money with Mr. Darston. Today, we will be discussing what a traditional IRA is and how its features can be used to benefit investors like you and I. Traditional IRAs were established back in 1974 by the U.S. government as a part of the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974, also known as ERISA. The way a traditional IRA works is that it allows an individual to direct a portion of their income to a tax-deferred investment account that will grow over time, that is taxable upon withdrawal only, typically after age 59 and a half. Whatever an individual contributes to an IRA is usually tax deductible, meaning the amount they put in the account, they don't have to claim that on their income. For more details about how a traditional IRA works, let's take a look at an example. Say someone earns $60,000 a year, and they decide they want to contribute 5% of their salary to a traditional IRA. They can take $3,000 and put that into a traditional IRA investment account. If they did that, how would that affect their taxes? Let's see. In our example, that $60,000 income earner would be able to deduct the $3,000 they contributed to the IRA, and they would owe less taxes because of the tax deduction. Instead of having to pay taxes on $60,000 worth of income, they would only be taxed on $57,000 of income. That is $60,000 minus the $3,000 deduction. Now that you know what a traditional IRA is and how a traditional IRA works, you may be asking yourself, how can a traditional IRA benefit me? Well, let's go back to the example to take a look at it. We'll start by looking at what happens if you don't save and you don't contribute anything to an IRA. You still make that same $60,000. You're taxed at a 25% rate. So after taxes, you end up bringing home $45,000 in income. No retirement savings, no reduction in taxes. Now, let's take a look at what happens when you do contribute that 5% to a traditional IRA. The first benefit for contributing to a traditional IRA is the tax deduction. You end up paying less in taxes. In our example, again, you made $60,000, but with the tax deduction, you're only taxed on $57,000 of income. The same 25% rate equates to a $14,250 tax as opposed to a $15,000 tax. You save $750 in taxes. The tax deduction is only one benefit. The real benefit and the reason you're saving in an IRA in the first place is because you want to have more money. An IRA allows you to save $3,000 that goes into an investment to grow over time for you. In this example, you end up with $750 of more money because you have your remaining income plus your savings. It's a win-win. So far, everything sounds great, but it can't be all puppies and treats. What's the catch? What do you need to be mindful of about IRA, savings, and investing? One of the first things to be mindful of are the IRS contribution limits for IRAs. Now, they restrict the amount that one can add to a traditional IRA each year, depending, of course, on the age. For contributors 50 years or under, $6,000 is the maximum they can contribute. If you're over 50 years of age, there's a catch-up provision that allows you to contribute up to $7,000 of your income to an IRA. Not only do contribution limits exist, but there are also limits on tax deductibility based on your income. If you or your spouse is covered by a retirement plan at work and your income exceeds certain levels, you may not be able to deduct IRA contributions. If your filing status is single or head of household and you make $66,000 or less, you get a full deduction of whatever you contribute to your traditional IRA. However, if you make more than $66,000 or less than $76,000, you only get a partial deduction. You make more than $76,000, you get no deduction of your contribution at all. If you're married, and you and your spouse are filing a joint return, if you guys make $105,000 or less, you get a full deduction of the amount you contribute to your IRAs. If you make more than $105,000 but less than $125,000, you get a partial deduction. If you guys make $125,000 or more, you get no deduction at all. You can still contribute to the IRA, but the deduction benefits are nullified for you guys. A final thing to note is the issue of liquidity, or the lack thereof, in a traditional IRA account that you have before reaching retirement. The legal retirement age is 59 and a half, and prior to that, if you want to make distributions or access the funds that are in your traditional IRA, you may be hit with not only taxes, but a 10% early withdrawal penalty for what's called a premature distribution. Before we put a bow on traditional IRAs, let's recap what they are. They are tax-deferred investing vehicles that allow you to contribute money that's going to grow again, tax-deferred, in an account that's designed to help supplement retirement income. The contributions are typically tax-deductible depending on your income. If you want to be a fat cat and rule the litter, then a traditional IRA is definitely a tool to help you build wealth and reduce taxes in the process. I hope this has been a learning experience, and as always, keep watching In the Money with Mr. Darsens. We'll have a number of other videos that will teach you some great concepts and help you become a master of your money. Talk to you soon.